What's fascinating is, so I got pregnant at 15 and had this wonderful little girl, and my life was, let's see, how would you describe it? Oh yeah, hell. And, you know, being a mom, and of course at 15, 16 years old, you've got a vision of what life is going to be like, right? You know, it's, you know, I'm going to marry this great guy, and we're going to have the little white picket fence, and, you know, it's going to be beautiful. Until dinner isn't on the table at exactly 4:31 and you get a beating. So this went on for a while. And then I thought, okay, this isn't working for me. I'm a bit rebellious, so I left this marriage and moved on to another marriage. It was interesting. It wasn't as abusive, but it was still interesting. And did that for about 7 or 8 years, had 2 more children, 2 little boys. They're awesome. Love my kids. Actually, I still love this man. He's awesome. But he left me one day. He went to a stag party and never came home. I thought, okay, well, that's not great. And I turned around from there and I thought, well, there's something going on, but I'm still searching for love. And you know, I'm searching for love because I don't know who I am.
What I want to say is that when I was born, the whole left side of my body was structurally damaged. I had heart failure, had a 20% chance of living. I went through 3 heart surgeries by age 14 and sing on a damaged lung. My eye was up and to the left. And for my whole life, my eye could not move. And I learned to love all of me and all my scars and all my imperfections for as they are. And one day at a party, somebody said, I know a doctor in Toronto, one of the best in the world, who can fix this. And part of me, 2 weeks before surgery, I actually thought about not doing it because I'd learned to love my imperfections. But it's not a cosmetic thing, it's a medical thing to make my life better. But I didn't realize how much better my life was about to be. And I know some of you have been watching me on Facebook like, you won't believe what just happened.
I was supposed to be there for an hour, I was there for 3 hours. And he started teaching me everything he knows. And ever since, I've been mentored by him. So this journey of self-awareness, just so I can share with you, is just about being aware of what's going on in your world. Because if you see it, if you hear it, even if it's in a lineup in a store, you are meant to hear it or see it and learn something about it. It's there for a reason. It's not like somebody cut you off because they were just being jerks. They cut you off because you need to become aware. And for your ladies, maybe they cut you off and you turn, you look in the store and you see a piece of clothing that you like and you park and you're going to get it. you know, you got to look at it that way, right?
A mentor holds up a mirror for his protege, helps him to see who he is, sees his possibilities, his gifts, his greatness. A mentor focuses on strength, not weakness. A mentor identifies potential and creates momentum. A mentor puts aside his own agenda to help his protege express his own unique talents. A mentor accepts his protege for who he is now and sees the potential of who he can be. And I read this book like 4 times till I came over this paragraph. And 4th time I actually found Mr. Golnick. I emailed him. I said, "Do you know what this paragraph is? Like, this is awesome, this paragraph." It actually inspired me to, I actually wrote an article, ended up writing a book about power mentorship.
We live in a world that's always telling us if we just drove the right car, if we just wore the right shoes, if Jim had the right cologne, he'd even be handsomer and smarter. On the other hand, have we learned to turn it out, dial it off, dial it down? You know, one of the things in working with youth at risk and working with little kids with grandparents groups, it's amazing how fragile they can be and how persuasive we can be to get them to go in another direction. Last summer I was working with my first major Tourette's case, and this little boy really wished he could slow it down. And so we were teaching him, well, we taught him what I thought was slow walking, and nothing like having your client teach you new words. He said, mister, this going really slow makes my head feel funny. And I said, good funny or bad funny? He said, awesome. He didn't know how to slow his brain down.
And I was particularly fortunate to be leading the team of a very beloved supplier. And there was one day when the gentleman, Kevin, who was their VP, wanted to sit down and speak with me. And he wanted to give me an opportunity in my company. And he said, how would you like to do business with Staples Europe? Staples Europe? There isn't a Staples Europe. No, there isn't. I'm going to put you there. So over a coffee with Kevin, I found out about Staples Europe, and I contacted our company, Correct Type Europe, who happened to be in Ireland in the early 1990s. You might as well have been in Newfoundland in terms of the head office for Europe. And the general manager, or the MD, absolutely had no idea how to deal with big accounts. So guess who suddenly became the vice president global of Correct Type? So because of a coffee that I had with Kevin, I became the vice president global.
Me in one day after school, he says, I want you to come in and see me after class. And I said, okay. So I come in and he says, why do you always fight? And I said, because kids call me names. He says, no, but why do you fight? And I said, because they call me names, I want them to stop. He says, no, you got to walk away, and then they'll stop. And I said, what are you talking about? That won't work. He goes, no, what you're doing isn't working, because you've been doing this all your life, and then they never stopped. He says, try it for a week, and then at the end of the week, come back and see me. So I thought, okay, fine. So I go for the week, and all these kids are calling me names, and I ignore them. And by the end of the week, they stopped. So I go back to see Mr. Binns, and he goes, what happened? And I said, they all stopped. And he says, told you. He says, I just taught you the biggest lesson in your life. And I said, what's that? He says, I just taught you how to respond instead of react.